difficult, but the section he did it in, that's why
back to back, because we're going to see what the Spartan has on this right-hander first.
Replay.
He's got a beautiful lip glide, lip, oncoming section to finish, and powers through that finish.
Yeah, he got 2 moves
Michel
done.
Perez, 3.78 or better, he'll take that lead from Kelly Slater.
Those maneuvers to really be considered.
What I love is he's got the best number, and as you're
back to back, we're going to see what the Spartan has on this right-hander first.
Straight spot,
he's got a beautiful
hook,
not super difficult,
but the section he did it in, that's why
back to back, we're going to see what the Spartan has on this right-hander first.
Replay.
He's got a lip, oncoming section to finish, and powers through that finish. Michel Perez, 3.78 or better, he'll take that lead from Kelly Slater.
Those maneuvers to really be considered.
What I love is he's got the best number, and as you're
back to back, we're going to see what the Spartan has on this right-hander first.
Straight spot,
he's got a beautiful hook,
not super difficult, but the section he did it in, that's why
we're going to see what the Spartan has on this right-hander first. He's got a oncoming section to finish, and powers through that finish. Michel Perez, 3.78 or better, he'll take that lead from Kelly Slater.
What I love is he's got the best number, and as you're
back to back, we're going to see what the Spartan has on this right-hander first. Straight spot, he's got a beautiful hook,
not super difficult, but the section he did it in, that's why
we're going to see what the Spartan has on this right-hander first.
I'm in awe. I truly am in awe. I mean, considering that he's 47 years old, and he's still a top 10 surfer at a caliber. It's just unprecedented. It really is. It's not easy what he's doing.
For me, it was like watching Kelly Slater in black and white, but they're 18 years old, going crazy on the reforms, you know.
I got that,
so
like the looseness right there, and then the redirection on the reform.
Yeah.
That was Kelly Slater, black and white, at 17 years old.
Yeah, well, and so then again, 47. That's 30 years ago, and he's still surfing at that level for 30 years. And so it's truly incredible. I think he's alien. He came from somewhere else.
Let's take another look at the replay, Peter.
Well, and again, so a medium-sized wave, but just look at the variety he carries on the backhand.
Oh,
it's very spry. That there was the most meaty section he had, but then just transitioning, no worries, looking loose. And then here, getting creative, just going, oh yeah, I'll get a little joust off that little foamy section, add up 3/4 of a point.
Straight on view.
I mean, in his backhand, I mean, that's the thing too. He's one of the best tube riders in the world, right? So that's obviously a huge part of his success. And he didn't come from a place that you had to learn how to tube ride. He came from Cocoa Beach, Florida, by the way, right? So you'll get 1 or 2 days a year that he might actually have a stand-up barrel. And I don't think Cocoa Beach is the place that he does that. He has to go down to Sebastian Inlet. So he's been able to refine his skills and learn throughout his career and to become the best at pretty much everything.
Taking a look at the replay of Michael Rodriguez. Emrod looking loose as well, but I want to see some aerial antics from Michael Rodriguez. I think that's what's going to set him apart in this heat.
He knows that, right? I mean, we're not going to see Kelly get the same kind of pop that someone like Michael Rodriguez would get. And that's just physics, right? I mean, it's youthful muscles and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, Kelly can still do a huge air, but there's definitely more pop in Michael Rodriguez because of his youth. So he has to exploit that. He has to go out there and utilize that as something that, what we had talked about with Kikish, you know, as you are surfing against guys in your heat, what can you do to differentiate yourself from the competitors in your heat? And Michael definitely going to have the airs to his advantage over Michel and Kelly.
Well, one thing you want to start off is with a big score to put you in a good place. Sebastian Ziet started off with a 6.5. He ended up winning the heat. Let's hear from Seabass.
Well, Seabass stoked out the gates with that early win. How are you feeling in the lineup? A little stressful?
Yeah, it's a little wild out there, and Ryan Callahan kind of gifted me that first wave, so lesson learned for him. But yeah, it's fun. It's nice being in Portugal. I've been scoring some really fun waves and having a good time.
And what's been your strategy coming into this event? A tough loss early in France, down in the rankings, now talking requalification. How do you feel?
I just got to win, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kind of been watching a lot of Mick Fanning videos, so trying to harness a little Mick, so I'm going to do that.
Stoked. And your family backing you? Any words to those supporting you from back home?
Yeah, hey everybody. I know it's middle of the night, but my wife's probably up because she's jet lagged, but I love you guys, miss you guys. Take care.
Good luck.
Great to hear from Seabass. I love the shades. And yeah, so 4:25 a.m. right now in Kauai, but I'm sure the Seabass fans are up.
Millie's probably hanging out too with the pom-poms.
Pretty good. Well,
yeah, if you want to pick up a pair of those shades, right, you got to go to Oakley to find them, because those things are seriously, they cover a lot of his face.
Well, last score in for Kelly Slater, 5.33 on that left turn right-hander, and Kelly Slater with a big lead over Michael Rodriguez and Michel Borez. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have the conclusion of heat number 12 in the seeding round here at the Male Rip Curl Pro, Portugal.
Dove Menquer acredita que para vencer é preciso habilidade, mas é o cuidado que faz um verdadeiro campeão. O verdadeiro campeão é aquele que cuida. Dove Menquer, cuidando dos homens que sabem cuidar.
Olá, Fora Esporte, tudo jóia? Bora colar no programa de esportes favorito dos boleiros.
Olá, rapaziada.
E acontece, não por acaso, no tempo sagrado do futebol, o vestiário.
Que suco pagodinho.
Onde rolam as melhores histórias, as melhores resenhas.
Resenha Espn. Toda sexta, 9:30 da noite.
Seu lance, sua chance. Faz um Sporting Bet aí.
Quando é vida, você é ridículo. Para saber tudo sobre os esportes americanos, ESPN League. Toda segunda e sexta na ESPN.
We're back at the Male Rip Curl Pro Portugal, and Rip Curl has the ultimate surf trip contest right now, ripcurl.com. The winner scores $2,000 worth of flights, 5 nights accommodations, and $1,000 worth of Rip Curl gear. You can enter now, ripcurl.com. Competition closes October 31st.
Well, that's like full gear, head to toe, probably socks, underwear, pants, shirt, a wetsuit.
Some of those E-Bomb wetsuits that are probably some of the best
solid
wetsuits ever. Michel Borez on the backhand needs to battle for 4.38 or better to move into the top 2 and avoid the elimination round. More waves on the way here, Pete. And no corners. So that one's just going to break on through with no opportunity for any of the 3 surfers.
Still a lot of surfing to do here, 13 minutes to go. So Kelly's got to obviously keep his foot on the gas pedal. I don't think he's feeling totally safe with 11-point total, although 11 points has been getting first and second most of the day. But ultimately, I think Kelly also looks at his performances as something as an inspiration. He wants to go out there and not only make his heat and win his heat, but actually surf really well. So I think he understands that.
You're watching the Male Rip Curl Pro Portugal seeding round on Fox Sports. Thank you for Guerrero along with Peter Mel and the Prince of Portugal, Tiago Saka Peresh, to talk you through this action. Coming up next, guys, the women are going to hit the water, and Sally Fitzgibbons getting into the zone.
Little meditation. I think that's something that's been coming across as a trend through a lot of our competitors. They're trying to find those quiet moments, because you talked about, and Kelly was a prime example during his sound waves. He talks about all the noise in his head. I think that's the biggest secret. And Tiago, you could probably speak to that in regards to quieting the mind and finding ways to do that.
Yeah, especially around Peniche. I've never met a heat here, so I could never find my zone over here. I was always searching for it and trying to make my way into this bubble of, where you feel super focused and concentrated, and you can let your surf do the talk. I was just very, very mixed emotions over here, and I could never find my real inner self, my Thiago Pires was never 100% out there in the ocean. I was always like shaky.
And is that because it was home, or it was
because it was home? And yeah, I was the first one to feel this kind of passion from our public, from our fans. And it was a lot to deal with because I wasn't used to it. I wasn't ready for it.
Probably similar to what we would say that Jeremy Flores felt for all those years competing at the Quicksilver Pro until all of a sudden it broke. We got to get you a wild card. We get you back out there.
Yeah, but it was tough event for me. It's like mixed emotions. I really like to be around and to watch all this, craziness around the contest. It's really beautiful to see the passion of Portuguese fans. They take holidays to come watch the event. They come from all corners of the country to watch the best surfers in the world. They're really interested.
Well, we'll talk about errors. Although Peter King, who's been filming Kelly a lot there, has a few photos on Instagram of Kelly doing exactly that. So, in those 4-hour sessions that he had been hitting on. But look at this, Thiago. This is pretty much a huge punt.
This was and he went kind of late too, which is nice. He was able to punch through it, and
he had it.
It was really close from being a big score. I haven't seen a big score for a while now, and I was almost watching the first one.
Pair of fives is what has allowed him to kind of have that freedom too. I mean, that was a major set wave, and I love it. Bring it on, Kelly, and still keeps surprising us, doesn't he?
He sure does. Here we go. The Spartan, Michel Borez, working his way down the line. Late trip to the lip, and he gets caught up there. Rodriguez on the backhand. Looking quick. Fits in another bank, and he kicks out.
It's a nerve-wracking heat, huh? You never know. You're first, but you can be third in about 5 seconds, The scores are so even.
So, Thiago, we got our man on the beach, Strider Wozlewski. I think he has a question for you. There, Strider?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just watching Kelly get pounded. He had to bail his board. But I had a question for Thiago. Being the Prince of Portugal and, kind of leading the charge, and then having Moraes kind of take that the flag and run down the beach with it. Who's next coming up in the younger generations? You guys are constantly mentoring people, so I'd like to know if you've got some names for us to look out for.
Inside information. Now, luckily, I think there's a lot of youngsters coming up, and I think future is looking bright for Portugal. Of course, we do. Probably you've heard about Afonso Antunes. Son of one of our best surfers also, João Antunes, and he's pretty complete package. Sort of emulates John surfing, so it really looks like John, but with a little bit of a different style, super refined, and I think that's the next one.
He's even got the little blonde locks to go with it, right?
He surfs the Paisels.
Yeah, right. So he's got all those things. I'd agree. That's one of the kids.
But apart from him, there's a few even younger kids who are really, really surfing amazing, and it's going to be incredible to see what the next 3 to 5 years are going to show us.
Thiago, do you ever have a point where you go surfing and it's really crowded, and then you're in the crowd and you're just like, wow, I kind of made this happen. I made this place, I made surfing popular here, and look at what I've done. Do you ever have any of those moments?
I get that thrown to my face a lot.
It's all your fault.
I hear that a lot, but I know I still find perfect empty beach breaks to these days.
That's what I was going to say.
You just need to be a bit more creative and, being able to go for the surge.
It's the adventure, right?
Exactly.
There's the adventure of surfing. And it's like, hey, if you're going to put yourself out in the elements, and this place is so filled with surf that there's opportunity everywhere.
Slater, our heat leader, going through the paces there. He's showing some flexibility. Not going to be one of his top two, but he will maintain his lead over Michael Rodriguez and Michel Perez.
flexibility on that body, man. I was just, my neck was aching right now after I watched that wave.
I mean, it's
look at these bottom turns.
And I think that's one of the secrets to Kelly. He has this back. Remember, he's got this back that he is able to on his bottom turns. It allows him to hold that bottom turn for a very long time. So I'll even say he's genetically different than everyone else, right? That's what he's so special.
Double-jointed, super flexible. Let's dig into some stats when we talk about Kelly Slater because the numbers are huge.
This is just unbelievable.
55 event wins, 817 career heat wins.
Sempre tem uma para me ver. Pegar o mundo barato.